You ever just wish for something so hard that it appears in your hands?
Like a sandwich, betwixt 2 slices of whole grain wheat bread, containing 2 slices of turkey, several dots of pepperoni, a slice or 2 of pepper jack cheese, and to top it all off, a gentle dab of Dijon mustard. I can nearly taste the questionable confection my brain thought of randomly.
That's not a power I trust you to have.
Would you instead trust me with the power to give things colors in much the same way?
Only if you're referring to the life-giving power your grade school coloring skills have in Chicory. Yes, Chicory, a colorful tale. A game about discovering the bonds we have between each other that make us stronger, lift us up when we're down, and keep us afloat. A game about learning that everyone is a wildly different definition of style, and that's okay. A game that teaches us that while traditions can forge a path into the future, sometimes it's better to take the path less traveled and let fate do its job. Today, friends, we take a dive into the complex and vibrant world of Chicory, a colorful tale. So, what's the story behind this color-depraved world that, quite literally, looks like a canvas ready to be painted?
Chicory's story mainly centers around the player character who is named after your favorite food. Pasta would be mine because I didn't realize I would be put under this kind of pressure on the onset of a game even before I meet what I'm naming. What is truly my favorite food? The game is asking, I can't disappoint it. Chicken is good, but would I justify it as my favorite? Roast beef is pretty good too, but so salty. Do I even like food?
Your food-labeled character is a janitor for the highly sought-after Wielder. These are artists of a high caliber that are traditionally gifted a paintbrush that brings color to the world through rather mystical means. They live in the Wielder's tower and paint all day, I would guess. Their only real goal is to impress people, and how can living a life like that possibly go wrong? Well, turns out generations of beloved wielders and expectations have weighed down on the most recent wielder, Chicory. Seeking to relinquish their role of wielder by any means, Chicory leaves the brush outside her room. Pasta, a wielder hopeful who discovers the brush outside Chicory's room, gleefully takes the brush after very little prompting.
And so begins your journey through several environments, several difficult trials, and through the darkest reaches of a strange dark forest slowly overtaking the world. You must seek the source of this strange growth and take it down, all while balancing the several logo side quest characters will ask you to design, picking up the large amount of litter everywhere, rescuing every animal child you shake out of trees, and dealing with the traumas of not only your inner demons but past wielders as well. Food Name here has some gigantic and old shoes to fill, but they will fit as long as you do your best.
To fill those giant old shoes, you use the WASD keys or the arrow keys to move around. Other keys will be added as you progress through the game and unlock abilities. But a fascinating addition to this game is the use of the brush, entirely controlled through the use of the mouse. Which means not only should you find a comfortable position for your control hand, you need ample space to splash areas with color with your mouse hand. It's kind of a tricky control scheme to get used to, specifically during boss fights, but Chicory accounted for this by including several different options to ease the difficulty. You can turn on a super difficult mode by giving yourself one hit before failing, or make it a bit easier on yourself by giving the player multiple hits. We actually suggest playing with the options menu a bit to customize Chicory's experience to your comfort, because there are a lot of them.
Other than the standard control scheme between character and free traveling brush, you also have brush styles. These 4 different brushes, activated via 1 through 4 number keys, can be interchanged with the brush styles found in large present boxes all throughout the game. You can even create your own.
Why am I not surprised?
Because it's hilarious. I mean, even they knew people would do that. They even put in a dookie brush. Look at that.
Nothing is sacred.
You'll combine your use of your legs via movement keys and splattering everything with paint via mouse to do a number of things, from traveling through terrain,
poisoning the natives by painting them with paint,
using paint-activated plants to reach new areas,
straight up poisoning the water supply with paint,
giving homes a splash of color,
ruining lavish landscapes with your utter lack of understanding of color theory with paint,
and so much more. And the color palette changes in each area, so you'll have a fresh new 4 colors to give your world a splash of your personal vision, whether it be delicate
or James's idea of delicate.
I had fun.
Yeah, I can tell. You even dressed up your character with different clothing pieces and gave them a new hairstyle. Truly, there are several different ways to find your style, refine it, and show it off to the world.
While I'm not very artistically natured, feeling no real need to fill in each area with my own personal painting over what was required to move on, I did feel compelled to explore and experiment. Of course, only ever receiving praise from each and every character who asked me to fill in a mural or make a logo for them did give me a little bit of confidence in my work. Even with the limited supplies available and my very finite knowledge of pleasing artistic pieces, I actually began to feel a confidence in my work that I didn't feel in the beginning of the game. Toward the end of the game, I began to paint more of the world, for reasons beyond progression. I did nothing show-worthy, but it almost excited me to go back to the art classes and try my hand at the various topics given for each piece. Even if I knew my pieces would never stand up to the A+ work others around me did, or Andy could do, I was still excited to try.
Truly, Chicory, A Colorful Tale is a game meant to make you feel like you should try, even when the situation is dire, even when you don't know what you're doing, even when all you have is a cliff, a paintbrush, and titanic expectations on your shoulder, you should still try. This is a game that begins as a blank palette, offering several ways of giving your world a little color and refine your methods and styles. It ends up as a beautiful tale full of heart that you repaired, full of color that you painted, and full of an adventure that you went on. Chicory, A Colorful Tale is a game worth your time, worth your money, worth your tears, and worth painting every square inch of.